My name is Peter, and I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm also a fisherman. Things were going pretty well, and we just joined forces with James and John, and we had a little nice fishing business. Jesus asked me once to take him out into my boat so he can teach from the water as the crowd listened on the land. He told me to lay the net in the water, and this is after we tried all night, yet we caught nothing. But guess what? A miracle happened. There was tons of fish, and after that, he said to follow him. So I decided to, and I've been following ever since. He said he would make us fishers of men. We had some crazy experiences out on the water with Jesus. One time, a storm came up, and we were getting tossed all over the place. And I was afraid that something might happen. But we woke up Jesus, and he commanded the winds and the waves to stop. We didn't even know what to think. Then there was another time. He sent us once across the Sea of Galilee. And once again, the winds came up, and it was strong. We were struggling to get to our destination. And all of a sudden, Jesus was walking on water, coming to us. We thought he was a ghost. But he called us out to not be afraid. And I asked him, if it was you, could I come out? And he said to come. I didn't even think twice. I just got out of the boat, and for a couple of steps, I walked on water too. I would see things that I never thought was possible. We had sick people, people who couldn't walk, see, or hear. There are some people who are crazy. They would hear voices and lose control of themselves. They were possessed with evil spirits. I would never want to be around them, but Jesus did. I would also watch him bring hope and peace to all kinds of people. Jesus told me, my name is no longer Simon, but Peter, and that he was going to build his church on me. And Jesus also told me that I would deny him 3 times before morning, before the rooster crowed. To hear that from him, that was crazy. I would never do that. I told him I would die with him before I ever disowned him. The other disciples heard and agreed and told Jesus the same. I was there when Judas betrayed Jesus, and I was not going to let that happen. I took out my sword and I struck one of the guards in the head. Yeah, that's right, in the head. And I was getting ready to swing again. And after all that, Jesus healed him. So what would I do? I do what I know, and it's to follow him. So I followed them, and I got close enough without getting caught. I was trying to figure out a way on what to do when a servant girl that has been staring at me and said, "You're also with Jesus of Galilee." And this is the first time I denied him by saying, "I don't know who you're talking about." I got up and left and got as far as the gateway, and another girl said, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." And for the second time, I said, "I don't know the man." And then after a while, a small group approached me and said, "Surely you are with him." And I couldn't believe it. For the 3rd time, I denied him and said, "I don't know the man." And he was right. It was right then, the rooster crowed, one of the worst sounds I've ever heard. I disowned him. How could I? My Lord, I had a chance to stand tall and tell you, all that those around me, that I knew him. He is Jesus. He is the Son of God. He is my Lord. But I was scared of what might happen to me if they knew. And I was, and I'm still so ashamed. I ran and I wept. How can I deny him? I still can't believe I did such a thing to a person I loved. I mean, look at him. They killed him on the bloody cross. I heard the whips. I heard his cries. Now I'm so lost. Now he's gone. He said he would rise in 3 days. I guess until then, I'll just go fishing.
What was Peter doing? Just a few hours before this, he was ready to single-handedly just take off the several hundreds of Roman soldiers. He was ready to beat them up. But now Peter, he's denying that he even knows Jesus. Was Peter just in shock over what had happened in the last few hours? Was Peter just scared? Was he confused? Had Peter lost all hope? More than likely, Peter was feeling all of these emotions. He was an emotional guy. He was able to overhear what was going on inside the palace of the chief priest when Jesus was inside, was about to get sentenced. Had it come to this? The last 3 years had been quite adventurous for this guy. Peter witnessed Jesus healing people, teaching truth of the scripture like he had never heard before. Peter had walked on water with Jesus. He witnessed and experienced remarkable things. Now, was it just all going to end? Did it all come down to just this? That was it? Hasn't he not learned from the experiences, all the feelings and emotions that he had felt? See, maybe we may feel abandoned by God, or we may be hurting, or we may face extremely difficult circumstances just like Peter did. Sometimes God may seem silent and it doesn't make sense. Peter walked with Jesus for 3.5 years, but yet still, when it came down to the bare bones, he disowned him. Said, I don't even know him. Sometimes we're like that. We want to disassociate ourselves with Jesus because it's not comfortable for us, because we may be feeling some persecutions. Today you have a choice to associate yourself with Jesus, or again, to disown him, to say, hey, I don't even know him. But he, Jesus, wants to know you today.